noise at the start. So should we record some geese?
Yeah, I reckon we should record some. You just
Be careful.
Yeah.
Or
carry it over to them.
could record it on my phone and then send it to you later, or send it to Chris. So you can like, stick it at the start.
I don't know.
Yeah, just shout at them and they'll make some noise, and then you can edit me out and just get them, making noise.
What are you going to ask the geese?
This is a football thing.
Right.
I never.
That's a swan.
I think swan.
And they kind of want it the same, really.
What football team do you support, Goose? Swans.
Doesn't have the same.
Swan, obviously.
I don't think I have a voice recorder on my phone.
Don't worry.
No, I don't.
Mate,
What's
what's
that?
going on?
Or she'll go. What football team do you support, Swan?
Yeah.
Cardiff. What the fuck? Cardiff.
Oh, hey.
Unexpected.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Swept under the rug.
Swept under the rug.
Swept under the rug.
Alright, listeners, welcome to episode 16 of Swept Under the Rug. We're in a very different location this week. We're sat on a tree in the middle of Sutton Park.
It's quite tranquil. I like it.
Yeah, it's nice. We've got some geese, we've got some swans, we've got all sorts for you. We've got news, tunes. No food this week though.
No.
But that will be back at some point. The voices that you heard are that of Aaron Gill,
Hello.
Rohan Joban Putra,
Hello.
and your boy Ollie Seymour.
Hello there.
He's coming on for today's show. And we're going to be doing the usual bits and pieces, quick fire news. We've got a bit of a new section coming your way as well, which I think we've decided is going to be called Headline Freestyle.
Yeah, we weren't sure if it's going to be headline battle or headline freestyle, were we?
Or a mix of the two. Was it like story?
Story battle, something like that.
It was a bit of a ridiculous conversation that went on for too long, but I'm sure the feature will be semi-decent, so stick around for that. We're going to kick off with some quick fire news stories though, and I'll go up first. And my first story is that Ugandan Afrobeat musician called Robert Kyagulanyi,
Well done, mate.
thank you, Sentamu. Robert Kyagulanyi Sentamu. I think I've nailed that.
Yeah, that's good.
Also known as Bobi Wine.
I think
Right.
we prefer Bobby Wine.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Has been sworn in as the MP for Kayadondo East in
Good money.
central Uganda. I know, thanks, mate.
I'm
I've
familiar with the place.
made it really difficult for myself. Like I say, he's an Afro. Well, but various different sources say he does different type of music. I haven't actually been able to listen to him yet, but some people say he does Afrobeat, some people say he does dancehall, and quite a few other people say he does reggae. So you can make up the mind for yourself.
I mean, I like all of those genres.
Is he on Spotify or anything like that?
Probably is. Maybe we should get a bit of Bobi Wine to play us out
Yeah.
at the end. But anyway, he ran as an independent candidate and got 25,659 of the possible 33,310 votes. So he absolutely killed
Pretty
it.
good.
Are they all just his fans though, or are they actually?
Probably is.
Worldwide
Probably is.
support for Bobi Wine.
And yeah, he grew up in the slums of Kampala, which he called Uganda. As in
He's in
it's in
Uganda.
Uganda, and there's ganja.
It's pretty clever.
But during the 2016 election campaign, lots of other Ugandan stars, like pop stars and stuff, took money to perform for the president, who's called President Museveni. And he's pretty controversial, this guy, because he doesn't know his own age,
Right.
and has released his own rap song.
Right.
And he's also a bit of a dictator on the side, but that's
That's
yeah.
not good. But
Yeah,
the
we'll
rap thing
ignore that
works,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he doesn't know his age. So basically, in Uganda, you have to be under 75 to run for president or something. And he says he's 71, but the opposition claim that he's 5 years older, which would mean he's illegally in power.
Right.
But then also, the president himself wrote in his book that his parents were illiterate, so they didn't know actually how old he was.
Right.
So
It's a bit of a difficult. Yeah, but my grandma, she doesn't have a birth certificate, so she literally just had to.
Really?
She created her own birthday.
Fair enough.
She created her own birthday, and we think she was around 85, 86 when she died, but nobody actually knows. So I think, obviously, she was from India, so I think poor countries like that, they just don't have stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you have to
No records kept of birth dates and stuff.
you go. All right, so that's my story. Bobi Wine, MP for Kayondo in Uganda.
That's pretty
There we
cool.
go.
My story's recently, the NHS has just passed 50,000 organ donor transplants. And since 5 years ago, there was 5 million people in the UK registered as organ donors. And in 5 years, that's gone up to 25 million people registered.
Right.
And they're saying, in the past 5 years, in the past 5 years, 50,000 people have been saved due to organ transplants.
Wow.
So they're just saying, that's like a new milestone in the NHS. It's never been past 50,000 before, so
That's huge.
that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Mm.
So that's nearly half the country that's now registered as organ donors.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Is
Yeah,
you
was
guys
it?
registered?
Oh.
No.
I have to
No.
admit I haven't, no.
I'm the only one here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get you, girl.
Not like I haven't given obviously a transplant, but
Yeah, yeah.
I swear it's
Yeah,
on your
you
driving
get an
license.
organ
isn't it?
Yeah,
organ
you
donor card,
carry
yeah.
a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Because
girlfriend's
there was
got one.
a big push for like quite recently, I think, for people to donate, and they had the organ donor cards and everything.
Yeah, same in Scotland as well. They just automatically sign you up
Yeah.
as an organ donor, but only if you have to make the effort to unregister. Otherwise,
Okay.
they just automatically register you as an organ donor in Scotland. So I think that's what they'll probably do in England as well.
Okay. Interesting stuff. Ryan, what's yours?
So the story that an Australian man on a domestic flight, I think, has as his only luggage, he checked in one single can of beer,
Nice.
which it has a luggage luggage tag and everything, and you can
Looking at the picture now,
you can see it.
What
it
beer
was
is it? Is it?
We can't
Looks
tell.
like
No,
red
we
stripe.
couldn't make it. No, it wasn't red stripe. It says brew or something on
Oh,
the bottom of
right,
it, doesn't
okay.
it?
Export. I think it
Export,
said.
that's it, yeah.
And it was the first item out, and the airline which he travelled with was Qantas, and they said it didn't encourage other travellers to follow suit. I'm not sure why. 'Cause
How was
good
he even
way to go,
allowed
really.
to do that? Because I thought you can't take above 220.
I think because
that's
it's
hand-
checked.
hand
I think it's in
luggage.
hand luggage
Oh.
because it's checked
Yeah.
in.
So who's that determined to bring his beer
Yeah,
on
I mean,
holiday?
I would
one.
assume that I'd assume that he's only allowed one piece of checked-in baggage as well. So that means he's prioritised his can of beer over his own belongings.
Good effort, that.
He
Priorities.
said the guy who did it was called Dean Stinson, and he's told the AFP news agency that he was pleased the can arrived safely on Saturday, and it was in perfect condition apparently. So it's good.
Okay. How?
Treated with the utmost care.
Yeah, so like they'll pick up like people's luggage with like valuables in it from abroad, and they're like chucking it, breaking it,
Yeah.
and then they've picked up the
Respects
can
the single
very
can of beer.
carefully, placed it on the conveyor belt.
Yeah, that's the way they roll in Australia. And Ollie, what's your story?
My quick story is back in my hometown of Jersey, a group of 3 teenagers who are under the age of 18, thus they can't be officially named, went into a well-known local wine warehouse and left with a bottle of 1963 Fonseca vintage port, which is estimated at costing between about 250 and 300 quid.
Boom.
I mean, I just think it's a pretty bit of a middle-class crime, that, isn't it? Out of all the things they could have nicked, I mean, at that age, people were drinking, I don't know, cider, not bottles of port.
Frosty Jacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Is that a common occurrence in Jersey?
To be honest, it's a bit of a sleepy place. The other day, a headline in the newspaper was that some geese closed the main road because they ran across it and
Talking of
couldn't
geese.
get rid of them.
Yeah.
It
talking of
ties
geese.
in well.
Are they still over there?
They are still
Geese
over
are
there,
still
to our
kicking
right.
about.
Doing well. What's
They're goslings.
a goose's favourite actor, Gil?
Goose's favourite actor. I'll tell you what a Goose's favourite actor is. Is it Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, it is. On that bombshell, let's move on to some musical bits and bobs after this mum jingle. See you in a bit.
I'm Rohan's mum, and you're listening to Swept Under the Rug.
Boom. It's cultural recommendations time, and we're going to do something a bit different this week. We've all brought in a new song to listen to, and we're going to review them. And we're going to start with Gil's, which
Alright.
is new Jay-Z.
Yeah, new Jay-Z single is The Story of OJ from his album 444 or 444, whatever you say it. And I think it's quite mellow. I'm not a big Jay-Z fan, so I didn't really I haven't listened to his other stuff to compare it to, but solely on this new track. I do like it. It's quite chill. It's quite mellow. I like the piano in it. It's quite, there's like jazzy vibes in there as well.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. But then he does talk about, because he's had a lot of stick recently about not being real or like back to his roots like he was to begin with.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's a producer now and he's rich and he's all about kind of, you know, Tidal. Like he's more of a businessman now than he is a musician. So I think he gets a lot of stick for that. And he says in one of the lyrics, like, you know, I'm still who I am.
Yeah.
I haven't lost who I am, pretty much. And he has a bit of a dig at Kanye as well, because there's been a bit of controversy with Kanye leaving Tidal because he owes them content or something. And Tidal say he owes them 3 million or something like that. So the song's a lot about his personal life as well. But as a song, I think it's one of his best yet, I reckon.
Okay. What did we all make of it?
I thought it was a good tune, to be honest. Ironically, as much as he was kind of digging at Kanye in it, there's very much kind of instrumental-wise, very Life of Pablo kind of vibes towards the instrumental.
Yeah, I thought that.
So I thought it was I don't know, very chill. I really like the instrumental on it. I thought he added a good kind of level on top of it.
Yeah. Ryan, any thoughts?
I'm not really a fan of rap
Jay-Z.
or Jay-Z or anything, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't incredible.
What about you?
Solid review. Yeah, I thought it was. I really like the production. It was like crazy good. And I don't know, like the message behind it of, I guess what he's saying is that black people in America, whatever kind of status they have or what position, they're kind of still viewed as just being black, and that's kind of their main defining. I guess that's what he was trying to say behind the lyrics. There's a lot of N-words in there, listeners. If that's not your bag, don't get involved. But so yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's difficult for us to really relate to on some levels.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really good. Like you, I'm not particularly a Jay-Z fan.
But
No,
I feel
I
like
can't
he
say
was talking about what was it, Tidal as well, because he was saying, because obviously it's what he's getting stick for how expensive Tidal is. It's $9.99 for a month, whereas like Spotify is pretty much similar, but because students can get half price with all the deals and stuff. And he's in one of the lyrics, he does say like, I'm still giving you all this content for only $9.99. So it's like, why am I getting so much stick when I'm just doing what I was doing 10 years ago?
The issue with Tidal was it was everyone who knew Jay-Z and kind of like his immediate family. So there was Beyonce and all their kind of most recent albums, not most recent, but one of their last ones were released on Tidal as well. And the
Life of Pablo as well.
Life of Pablo and the Yeezy fashion show was streamed. I'm not sure which season it was streamed straight to Tidal, and had a lot of people complaining because the servers just weren't up to hacking the kind of the I don't know, just the detail and stuff.
The thing is though, like with Life of Pablo, it was on there for a year or something, and then because he was getting no sales or anything, he took it off there, and as soon as he took it off Tidal, it went straight to number one. He got all his sales and stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Tidal's not great, is it really?
It's a bit of a flop, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to Ollie's tune, which is unreleased.
Yeah, unreleased as of yet. It comes out officially on the 26th of July, I believe, and by a dubstep grime producer called Eva 808. It's called that's spelt P followed by 3 R's. But yeah, it's very kind of heavy hitting. It's got very kind of typical dub crossover with grime instrumental. Lots of kind of kicks and a lot of kind of sub bassy stuff. Lots of kind of wubbing, but then equally with a.
Is that the technical term?
Well, I mean, that's the technical term I use. But interestingly, it's got a Missy Elliott, I believe, vocal over the top of it, which kind of gives it that very kind of typical grime edge, and it's a nice, very kind of heavy-hitting tune. It goes nicely with all the other kind of releases at the moment.
See, I liked the song, but genuinely, I know it's the title of the song, but the only thing I didn't like about the song was the brr in the middle, like in random places in the song.
It was at random places, yeah. I think that's probably the vocal was taken off another one of Missy Elliott's tracks, I believe, and mixed in as a sample. Right. And I think there's going to be that issue if you're just trying to find a good sample and then splice it into your own tune. Yeah.
But
other than the brr.
Yeah, I did like the song.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I thought it was really good, personally. Ryan.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good. This is mine.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, mine's called Springtime by Panther, spelled Panthourr.
Nice.
It's this because I've been kind of getting into funk recently
Okay.
because I like the funk guitar, and I want to learn to play some of
Bit
that.
of
So
Nile Rodgers sort of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
So this is on the All Funked Up playlist on Spotify, and I
Nice.
just came across it and I liked
Yeah.
it. So I don't really know anything about the band or
That's fair enough.
anything
It reminded me a bit
behind it.
or vocals anyway, of Corinne Bailey Rae.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a massive funk fan as well. So like, I know what you're on about, like the Nile Rodgers kind of guitar
Yeah.
and bass, like Anderson .Paak sort of bass, Free National sort
Yeah.
of bass as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
no,
making a
definitely
comeback
getting
though,
those
don't
kind
you
of
think?
vibes. What, the kind of funky stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it came back. There was a tune a while ago on a few adverts that was kind of more like electro funk, and yeah, I mean it was really popular.
Even like
for a
Bruno
while.
Mars.
Bruno Mars kind
new
of bringing
stuff.
it back. Yeah, exactly.
Anderson
It's
.Paak.
slowly coming back
I
into
love
the
it.
forefront of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just a fad though, and doesn't go away.
Yeah, it's good. It's
It
just
will.
nice to get your groove on too.
Yeah,
You're right. People are fickle. They'll
Yeah.
disappear,
It's probably a
unfortunately.
good thing. Keep things moving and all that.
Yeah.
But the song I brought in was by a woman called Nilofer Yanya, who is from London, and a singer-songwriter, plays guitar and that, and it's called Golden Cage, I believe, and it's off an EP which came out like a few weeks ago. What did we make of it?
I liked it. It's quite jazzy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And again, reminded me
Bit
of
of sax.
what's that artist on Spotify? No Name.
Oh yeah.
Reminded me of No Name a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I can't really say much about it.
I like it. I like this kind of style of music coming out. It's not even a style of music. It's kind of more appreciation of one's roots kind of thing. Like you get artists around London. There's another one called IMDb who are kind of going back to their roots. IMDb specifically is kind of, I don't know, more Jamaican, but you kind of get really nice feels for these not typically London tunes.
Not
almost.
commercial or anything.
Not commercial, kind of very roots based, very different to what you hear around.
Like
I
organic.
like it. Yeah, organic's the exact word I'd use.
Yeah.
It's quite chill. It's like the sort of song I'd listen to like studying in a library with my headphones or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she reminds me of King Cruel. I don't know whether.
Oh, yeah,
did
King
you listen
Cruel,
to it?
yeah,
She
I do
sounds
like King
very much
Cruel.
like a female King Cruel to me. So out of 10, Jay-Z, Story of OJ.
8. Strong 8.
Yeah, 7.5 I think for me. Rohan,
Give it a 6.5, but probably just because I don't listen to that kind of music.
fair enough.
I'd go about 7.58 as well.
Okay, so about 7.5 altogether for that. Either 8 or 8 out of 10.
An 8. I'd give myself for that one.
Give yourself
5, I'd say.
5.
Yeah.
I'd go 8.
Go
Probably
7.5.
8.5 actually. Okay, right, so similar scores.
Yeah.
Rohan's song, which I've forgotten the title
Springtime.
to. Springtime.
My Panther.
Panther.
You
Yeah.
are at the end. I'm giving that strong 9.
That's high, Gil.
Yeah, I know.
Rohan?
I'd give it an 8.5.
Okay. Nice.
I'll go maybe for more kind of 7 for that one, just because it's not my kettle of fish, but I do still. I like the emergence of funk.
Nice. I'd go 5 for that.
5?
Sorry, it was just very Spotify, wasn't it?
Oh.
It was very SoundCloud. And Nilofer Yanya.
I'd go 8, 8.5.
Give it a 9. I think.
I'll go for an 8.
Okay. Go for 7. Alright, so I don't know what those scores added up to really.
I wasn't keeping count.
Nilofer
but-
Yanya probably edged that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably edged it, I'd say.
Then Jay-Z, then either 808. Then, so I don't know. You can work it out, listeners, do the maths at home. We'll be back with some more news after this short mum jingle. See you in a bit.
Hi, I'm Simon's mom, and you are listening to Swept Under the Rug.
That took you ages. Hello. It's the main story time. It's time to be your own journalist, and we'll start with Gil.
Right, so apparently this is a new thing I've heard,
Right.
that people are robbing ATM machines
Okay.
from banks. So the latest one was in Leicester, Ashby. I can't remember the area.
Delazouche.
That's the one.
Yeah, good place.
And
isn't it?
somebody,
It is.
quite creative way of stealing an ATM machine. So they got a digger and
Yeah.
literally ripped the ATM machine out of the wall of
Okay.
a NatWest.
I mean, that's not creative, is it? That's just like,
I guess it takes some balls to do it. Then.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's either really stupid or actually it's just really stupid.
But I mean, people are doing it. I've heard up in Manchester. I know there was a case where someone stole just out of. I think it might have been the standalone ones though that you see in a shop. Rather than ripping out the wall with a digger, they're just kind of going in with some sort of trolley thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'd be
Taking
easier to do that and pick up a standalone one rather than ripping it out of a wall with a digger.
Yeah, it's hardly subtle, is it?
What other things could you rob with a digger, do you reckon?
Anything.
Quite a lot of things.
Yeah,
You
Pretty
could.
much what you want.
If you put your mind to it, you could probably take quite a lot of things. Probably steal a person
I reckon you could. Who would you want to steal?
with a digger.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a question.
Oh, I don't know.
That's a question.
Okay, give me a person and a landmark that you'd personally like
Russell
to...
Brand
Russell Brand.
Steal Russell Brand.
and any landmark in the world.
Yeah. You can fly the digger there.
Big Ben.
Big Ben. Russell Brand and Big... That's very British of you, girl.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyone else?
Don't know.
Bobby Wine.
Bobby
Let's go
Wine.
steal Bobby Wine.
Bobby
Bobby
Wine.
Wine. Get him
Or
to be
either-
MP for something.
Yeah.
And the actual president of the
Yeah,
of
I'd love Bobby
Yeah,
Wine.
the actual current president of Uganda is probably a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like they need rid of him.
Yeah.
Just
When he
go
wins his
nick him
campaign, we'll
with
just
a
go to
digger.
his concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Get a digger. Sorted.
So if he calls Uganda Uganda, what would he
Yeah.
call England or London?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Dunno.
Instead of Sutton, it'd be Zooton.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I'm not sure about that one.
I was pretty proud of that.
I guess he tried to rob.
Just giving him a sarcastic pat on the back, listeners.
Rob the dank of England.
Oi. Nice. Someone's been watching popcorn videos.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We should be comedians.
we really shouldn't.
I'd watch us, wouldn't you?
Feel like everyone's switched off now. Yeah. Any more landmarks? Should we move on?
I think we should move on.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
Fair enough. Right. So my main story is a new study that's come out by a guy called Jeffrey and a guy called David. I'm not going to try and pronounce their last names. They're
You've been doing well with the names.
yeah. I'm good at African names. American names slightly less so. It's like Harolski,
I'll have a go.
Haroliski. I can't read my writing.
I
girl.
can't read your writing
Majestic
either.
swan. Look at that swan.
Harold Skis.
Quite majestic.
It is quite beautiful.
Jeffrey Pfuffer and
Yeah.
David Haroldski.
We'll go with that. And they're both part of the Stanford Graduate School of Business, a professor and an ex-professor there.
You know they mean business when they're from Stanford.
Exactly. And they've done a study on risk. And so the headline of the article was that people don't like to take risks because they just don't know how to deal with uncertainty, which I guess is fair. We kind of knew that anyway. But I think the most interesting thing for me was, so given the choice between a guarantee of receiving $100 or 50% chance of receiving $200, people would most likely go for the $100. Is that what you?
Yeah, I'd do that. It was that theory, isn't it? You talked about theory of, what was it?
Prospect.
Prospect. Yeah. It's like whatever. You'd only take the risk if you think it's worth the risk, which is
Yeah, there's a lot of
Because
logical.
you either stand to gain $100
Yeah.
for sure, or maybe get $200. So you take the reward that you know you're gonna get.
the guarantee.
Is that
Yeah.
good though?
I don't know.
Of course, yeah, because if you're
I mean-
guaranteed. Oh no.
But like
In
in
terms of
general,
money,
in business.
Well, I
or-
think the biggest.
in terms of
Yeah.
in terms of winning money, then it makes sense. But in terms of like actually taking a risk with a business, it might limit creativity or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why the biggest businesses in the world, Apple and all this, they've all like Steve Jobs. He went bankrupt for a bit, didn't he? Before.
Yeah.
Apple. And so many businesses like that.
But there's a difference between kind of certain businesses do hire people who are professionals in risk assessment, and then an individual, specifically someone, I don't know, our age, I'd say potentially our risk assessment abilities aren't quite as refined as those of people who are maybe older.
True. Yeah. But then Richard Branson, like these businesses, a lot of them started when they were like our age.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
again,
very
Richard
true.
Branson
Very
started
true.
with Virgin
Yeah.
Records.
And like
Yeah.
Apple started out of uni, I think. Steve
There you
Jobs.
go. Facebook started out of uni. So I think But it's just personality-wise. If you're the sort of person that will go for the risk and don't really care if you're fall flat on your face.
Yeah.
But most people, I'd say, are more conservative with the judgments.
I mean, with things like Apple, when they were taking a risk when they first started, but there wasn't that much they could lose from like the company failing or anything. But at the moment, big companies like Apple nowadays don't really take many risks because they have so much more to lose.
Yeah.
So
it's more at the beginning of the business, isn't it?
Yeah, I think to be successful, you probably have to take risks because, I mean, even just starting a business is risky, especially if you're Apple and you're doing something completely new.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to look back and go, oh, that was really obvious, that was a really easy thing to do, but at the time, it's probably a huge.
Even Microsoft, like Bill Gates, the first year of Microsoft, he didn't pay any of his staff because all of his staff were just his friends and like people that wanted to get on board with the project.
Right.
And for a whole year, they just didn't get paid because he couldn't afford it, but they just had to get the business off the ground.
Yeah, kind of get a standalone business going. Well, a really good example of the taking a risk thing was obviously the whole Tidal, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it back to Jay-Z.
But didn't really work. Well,
Yeah,
it
hasn't worked out as of yet. I assume Jay-Z's still hopeful that it'll keep going, but
even on that track, the story of OJ, he says he bought a painting for $1 million.
Sold it for $2 million.
And then the next line is sold it,
For
then
$8
it's
million.
worth $8 million.
Mm.
And even then before that, he said something about a property. He could have bought a property for $1 million, but he didn't because he wanted to take the risk. And now that's worth 25 million.
Yeah. There's an example of Airbnb, but I can't remember exactly what happened. But their whole business is basically a risk of you go into a stranger's home, and it's a crazy thing to do, really.
With my brother, because my brother's travelling around Australia at the moment and like Southeast Asia, and there's this thing, like this app called Couch Surfer.
Yeah, I've heard of Couch Surfer.
Yeah,
I haven't got any friends who've used it. Has your brother?
Yeah, he's used it like a couple
work?
times, and he's because it's like a Facebook social app, but then you meet the people on there are saying, oh, you can come to mine and stay on my couch or whatever in my house, and you pay him obviously a tiny fee. Obviously less than hostels or whatever, but you do have the risk of meeting some strange people. But he said he hasn't had any bad experiences with it, and anybody he's talked to hasn't had any bad experience with it. But again, it's that risk of you don't know really who you're meeting.
It is. The other thing with the study was that if you were given the chance of losing the same scenario, and you were either going to lose $100 or have a 50% chance of losing 200, then people always went with the risk of the 50% chance.
Really?
Yeah. Well, not always, but
most
the majority of the time.
Have I just been given this $100, or is it my own $100?
I assume it's your own $100.
I think the same principle applies in both scenarios because it's about minimizing the risk.
Yeah.
So in the first scenario, the risk is of not gaining anything as opposed to gaining something. In the second scenario, the risk is of losing something as opposed to either not losing anything or losing more. So you're more likely to take the one that you feel will minimize the risk.
Yeah, that is true. And on that bombshell, Rohan can... no, we're doing 2 at a time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well,
Next
there you
segment.
go. Wow, this has gone well, lads. Right, so we're going to do some headline freestyle.
Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Smooth transition.
Smooth transitions, as always, on Swept Under the Rug. See you in a bit.
Hi, I'm Chrissy's mum, and you're listening to Swept Under the Rug.
All right, listeners, we're excited on the tree because it's a new section. You should be excited at home or wherever you're listening to. It's called Headline Freestyle.
Yes,
and basically we've got 3 major headlines that haven't been swept under the rug this week. So they're the G20 summit, they're Wimbledon, specifically Johanna Konta being the first British woman to get to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon since Virginia Wade, and the third one was Stormzy being mistaken for Romelu Lukaku on the front cover of a newspaper, which I think was Irish newspaper.
I can't remember.
I'm not sure if I'm right on that, but so those are the 3 headlines, and we're going to have to create or concoct, as Mr. Seymour says, a new story out of those 3. We'll see how it goes, really. We don't really know what's going on. We've got
a minute on the
a 1 minute time limit. Right, Rohan's in charge of the time.
We got a countdown.
Okay.
3.
2, 1, go.
All right. So, Conta is actually Donald Trump's niece.
Nice.
Right? And Theresa May has also met Trump at the G20 summit.
Yeah.
And she's saying, we need to like fix Wimbledon because we need to get
like match fix it.
Yeah, match fixing. Right. So
Not,
they've match fixed Conta.
Not like literally put centre court back together with like hammers, right? And then basically Stormzy is like the contractor for the whole operation, but someone phones Lukaku instead,
right?
Because I think that Lukaku's like the guy who
in
does construction, right?
Because he used to be in construction before he became a footballer. So he thought Lukaku will be able to sort this out.
Yeah.
Right.
But actually he's a footballer now, but Stormzy's still in construction.
Yeah.
So Lukaku gets called up by accident, so he's on centre court trying to fix the roof. Right.
While Theresa May and Donald Trump are both on the phone saying, alright, if you sorted out the referee, he knows who's supposed to win.
Right.
At this point, Conta's coming on.
Umpire, by the way, in tennis.
Umpire, sorry, I don't know tennis.
It's alright.
And Conta comes up.
Time.
I was nearly there.
That was going quite well.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. That was Headline Freestyle. You two have to have a go now, surely.
Do we?
Surely.
What, with the same headlines?
Or do we do different headlines? Do we pause it and then
Pause
think
it,
of some new headlines? We'll be back, listeners. Stay locked. They've bottled it, listeners, but they might return later. We'll see. But first, we're going to talk about Rohan and Ollie's main stories. Rohan.
Okay, so this is news that France is going to make vaccination for children mandatory from 2018, as it is, quote, unacceptable that children are still dying of measles. So there's a similar initiative in Italy where non-vaccinated children can't attend state schools, and this follows that. So the French Prime Minister Edouard Philippe says that it's unacceptable children are still dying of measles in the country where some of the earliest vaccines were pioneered. And yeah, basically pretty much all anti-vaccination science, in inverted commas, has been disproven, and there's no reason why you shouldn't vaccinate your children if they're not going to be adversely affected by the vaccines, and very, very few children will be. So yeah, I think it's a good step. It's a step in the right direction to make vaccines.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's I actually know a few people that refuse to get their children vaccinated.
Same. I know a family who don't vaccinate their kids.
There are a few genuine reasons, because there has been vaccinations before in the past where it was actually given the children, complications of their health.
Well, the MMR scandal was a big issue. I in fact got 3 separate injections because it was, not to get too deep, it was believed that my uncle got autism or Asperger's or some sort of mental handicap because of the MMR injection. Transpired that wasn't the case, but in order to kind of protect against that, I got given the 3 injections separately as a measles injection, a mumps injection, and a rubella injection, rather than all 3 at once. But I mean, I think it's common sense that you should be vaccinating your children against taking all precautions.
I think the GP, I think he was a GP that produced the report saying vaccines cause autism. Firstly, I think he was paid to do it by I'm not sure who. And secondly, he's actually come out since and said that he was wrong.
He was wrong in doing it. I remember that.
His study was unsubstantiated.
Yeah, he only had 100 cases or something. It was really low or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's a good thing that France are doing, because there have been a lot of cases where people have autoimmune disorders and are actually killed because of things that wouldn't affect someone who's not been vaccinated as much. So yeah, it's saving lives.
Other people are not vaccinating because of random weird internet conspiracy theories. So my uncle hasn't vaccinated his baby because he believes that, I don't know the actual conspiracy theory, but he just pretty much thinks it's a government scandal and it's like a way for them to control the population somehow. I don't really know what the theory was, but that's what hasn't vaccinated his baby, and I just kind of think it shouldn't.
Choice?
It is his choice,
taking away
but
free choice from people.
Personally, I don't think it should be.
But
I mean,
you should have a choice.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, you've got gonna sound playing the devil's advocate here a bit, but you prioritise the greater good of humanity and the wellness of the public over an individual's free choice.
Utilitarian.
But there's clearly been cases where there's been bad things that have come because of vaccines.
But that's mostly, I think, if a vaccine will have an adverse effect on you, then it can be like tested beforehand.
So why weren't they tested in the 90s or whenever that?
Because
the
they
MMR
probably didn't have the technology, didn't have the means to do it. But nowadays, if a vaccine is going to adversely affect you, then they will most of the time know about it beforehand and not give you the vaccine. And the point of most people being vaccinated is to prevent those few people who can't be vaccinated from actually coming into contact with someone who carries the disease.
Yeah.
So it much reduces the likelihood of the disease being spread to people who can't be vaccinated and can't be treated.
Plus the complications that would come if you didn't vaccinate the babies cost the NHS loads of money as well to dealing with all the illnesses that it will bring.
I don't know, I think it should be people's free choice, to be honest, in my opinion. But did you ever used to get jelly babies when you got a vaccine? Or was that just my doctor?
I might have just been your
Probably
doctor,
just
mate.
your doctor.
Yeah. I can't say that I've got jelly beans.
I don't remember ever getting vaccines. I was too young. Obviously, I must have gotten them, but the only vaccine I remember getting was the one we had when was it? It was quite recent, though. That's a couple of years ago. Like when you turned 16, 17, I think I had to get a vaccine.
I had MMR in year 9, I think.
Yeah. There was another one, I can't remember. Tetanus shot?
Tetanus shots. Yeah, boosters for those as well.
I do love their technique where they're sort of just talking to you and then just jab you.
Just kind of feel the cold pinprick.
Yeah.
That's such a good way though, because otherwise you're waiting for it and you're like,
yeah.
Better just to do it, get it over and done with. Like when you don't even know it's coming.
Ready for it.
Yeah.
They're just talking to you about Villa. And then bang. Right.
I know where you're protected against tetanus.
Your main story, please.
My main story is about pro-Palestinian, anti-manufacturing of arms in my local village of Shenston. There is an engine manufacturer factory that is funded by Israeli groups. Okay. And the engine factory is producing the engines for drones that are being used to bomb in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And I mean, as little as I know about the whole conflict, a few kind of pieces of information here and there. The protests seem to occasionally take it too far. For example, the most recent one was relatively benign. There were a bunch of letters left on the fences of the factory, all written by individuals, and it's a really nice gesture. But last year there was one where some baby clothes were soaked in, whether it was actual blood, I don't know, or red paint, and draped all over the fence. And seeing as it's a regular route that families take, whether going for walks or dropping their children off to school, it was a bit of a jarring experience for them. I know my brother was particularly struck by it. He thought it was very upsetting. But equally, I mean, it's meant to kind of rally public thought towards the issue. Yeah.
I suppose the intention of that kind of protest is to be jarring and to
most definitely
remind people of the reality of what's going on in the conflict. Definitely,
and I agree. It is very much needed. It's especially kind of prominent, seeing as how far we actually are away from the conflict over here. I know at university I also see a lot of kind of pro-Palestinian demonstrations. But yeah, I don't know. It is interesting to see it so far afield. It shows that people are voicing a genuine concern against the conflict, the fact that it's been carried over all the way to England. Yeah. The tenuous link of manufacturing engines for the drones.
I don't really know much about the conflict, so I can't really chime in on this one.
No, it's one we sort of hear a lot about, but it's quite nuanced.
It is a very nuanced kind of discussion. Yeah. I mean, you see all sorts of prominent figures waging in.
But there's so many issues involved. There's politics, there's religion involved.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so a lot of financial things.
Yeah. Very, very recently, I think it was like a couple of days ago, Ken Loach quite harshly condemned Tom York and Radiohead for playing a show. Well, they're planning to play a show in Israel. And there were a lot of Palestinian flags at Glastonbury. in protest for this. And I think what Tom York said in defence was that he no more agreed with Netanyahu and what he's doing as he does with Trump and what he's doing, but he still played in America.
Yeah.
And he's still going to play in Israel. And whether that's a strong argument or not is debatable. But
yeah, I don't know. I can definitely see the point behind the argument that he's making. And it's down to individual interpretation.
The other day, I saw some olive oil that was half made in Palestine, half made in Israel. So if the olive oil can do it,
I'm sure if olive oil can do it, people can do it.
Exactly.
The olive oil industry has come together.
Yeah.
Olive oil peace talks.
Yeah. It's the way forward.
It's the solution. It's what we've been missing.
Right. That's all our main stories for this week. We'll be back at you with something after this.
Shower songs.
Jessica.
Yeah, I don't know the actual words.
Me makes you
your man.
Wow.
So,
That's a little bit of a spoiler, listeners.
You're playing it?
Yeah. Ollie and Gil singing Mambo number 5. More of that to come. There's a bit of a human / swan / goose loving on down by the lake. Dogs getting involved in everything.
You make it sound like
it's certainly an intimate situation.
The swan whisperer.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We're still here on the tree. It's pretty sunny. And we're going to do some shower songs for you.
Have you all got a shower song?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't say that I can do the whole song, but
no, just do like a little.
Right.
Yeah.
It's only a little snippet. We don't want the whole 2 minutes.
You'd have to pay if I was singing.
Yeah. Save that for the Ollie Seymour show.
Being as it's Gil's section, Gil,
I'll
do you
go
want to kick
first.
us off?
So my song I've been listening to in the shower recently, you know Hiatus Coyote?
Australian band.
I didn't even know they were Australian.
Australian
but
fact.
Yeah, Molasses and Nakamara, some of the big songs. But I'm going to be singing Building a Ladder.
Okay.
It goes something a little like this. Building a ladder of love to you, and I hope that love you build one too. Building a ladder of love
I feel
to
like my
you,
clicking's really
and I hope that love you build one too, and then we fly away.
Wow, that was quite long. Well done.
That was good. I'm impressed.
He did a bit of a Daniel Sturridge dance in the middle of it, listeners.
Yeah, on the flying away thing.
Yeah. It was nice.
Yeah, cheers.
So how long have you been singing that in the shower for, Gil?
About a year.
About a year?
I'm not even joking. Like
Okay.
every like month or so, it'll come back on the players, and I think I'm feeling a bit of Hiatus Coyote. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Good band. Rohan, what have you been singing in the shower recently?
Torn by Natalie Imbruglia.
Okay.
She was very much a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
throwback.
was she?
She released a new album though, like last year, 2 years ago,
Mm.
and then nobody cared about it. I swear I was the only one that cared about it because I was like, oh my god, it's like coming out tomorrow, and then I listened to it and it's just kind of meh. You know,
Yeah.
disappointed.
Her last name sounds like a type of pasta. I've always
Imbruglia.
thought.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Imbruglia or Imbruglia?
Imbruglia, I think.
Imbruglia probably sounds more like pasta.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, Rohan, take it away.
Nothing's right, I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. I'm cold and I am shamed. Lying naked on the floor.
Illusion never changes.
It's very appropriate for the shower.
Was it?
Yeah. I mean.
Oh yeah, like
lying naked. Well, maybe you're not lying naked on the floor.
Yeah.
in the shower.
Standing,
naked, yeah.
standing naked.
Yeah.
on the floor.
unless you shower in like trunks or something.
Yeah. Have you ever sat down in the shower?
Oh
Never.
yeah, I occasionally like to
Yeah.
indulge in sitting down in the shower.
Do you actually?
Some people have like a seat though in the shower.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd say
So
I
you
would,
could
I
shower
think
while
that'd
sitting
be
down.
brilliant.
Oh wow.
Like
Okay.
a kind of wet room kind of
Just
thing.
take a bath, mate.
Yeah.
Surely. Ollie, what's been going on in your shower recently?
See, I've been, as you probably heard earlier, singing a bit of Mambo number 5 in the shower, but I can't say that I get the words right or the names in the right order.
No.
But you know who does? It's just a classic,
It is a
classic
bang,
catchy
yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes like little bit of Sandra in the sun, a little bit of
Tina. I think.
Is it what, Tina in the sun?
All night long.
All night long. A
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit
making that up.
of Jessica, here I am. No,
Little bit of you
makes me your man. Wow. That's the main bit of the song right there.
That's why
Yeah.
everyone loves it.
That is
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
All right. So do you sing that standing up or sitting down?
Standing up. See,
Do you perform as well?
Yeah. See, I do a little bit kind of jigging about, like a little, kind of arms at the sides, jig.
Do you get the shampoo bottle as well?
Well, no. See, I reserve that for my kind of more intense shower songs.
Right.
Yeah. When you kind of really need to put the point across.
The balance.
That you're singing about,
The balance.
You need to kind of put it out there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Liking it.
I can't really think of what else I think sing in the shower, so I'm just going to continue with the French rap thing from last week.
Champions League.
The Champions League. Another French rap song that I have sung in the shower before is called Bad Boys de Marseille. It's a great song.
Right.
You should check it out.
you've showed
it's
it,
by.
I think Vaccination.
Right.
I think that's how you say it.
Nice.
I think you have showed me.
And once again, I can only really sing the English bit unless I can sort of make noises and probably be slightly racist, so I'm not going to do that. But it goes, bad boys de Marseille, bad boys de Marseille, and there's lots of French bits in between. But
I like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Especially like the de Marseille bit.
Yeah,
That's my favourite bit.
Thanks, man.
I'm personally a fan of the Bad Boys part.
We've got a split.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty banging tune. And if you do ever want anything to sing in the shower, listeners, it's a bit left field, get some French rap on.
Yeah.
It's the way
I'd
forward.
recommend it highly.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it for this week's Swept Under the Rug.
I like that ending.
It's been
this episode
pretty strange.
It has been.
It has.
It wouldn't be swept under the rug if it wasn't a little strange, though.
I guess not. But we'll be back very soon. We've got. We'll probably do one this weekend if we can, because I'll be away for most of next week. So we might have 2 episodes this week, listeners. You lucky people. And we've got some interesting interviews coming up at some point in the future. We've been saying that for a while, but they will be here. We promise. So thanks for listening, and stay safe. Take risks. Ta-ra in a bit.